Hello, everyone. Join Jesus and the 12 apostles as they leave Galilee and begin their public ministry, traveling south toward Jerusalem for Passover. Jesus weeps for his family's lack of support and along the way teaches the real meaning of the kingdom of heaven, emphasizing the child-father relationship. The apostles start preaching publicly while Jesus guides them in ministering to the sick and navigating tensions with John's former followers. A powerful new chapter in the Master's mission. I'm Bob Kieser. Welcome to the Son of Man Urantia Project. Today starts Chapter 20, beginning the public work, with Part 1 of 2. Get comfortable, grab your copy of Son of Man Urantia on Amazon, and join the journey. Chapter 20, Part 1, beginning the public work. On Sunday morning, January 19th, AD 27, Jesus and the apostles departed their Bethsaida headquarters at Zebedee's house. Jesus had informed the 12 only that they would journey through the Jordan Valley to Jerusalem for the Passover feast in April, without further details. Their families and several disciples arrived to offer blessings, delaying their departure until nearly noon. But when all were prepared to depart, they could not locate Jesus. Andrew sought him and found Jesus sitting alone in a boat on the shore, weeping. Seeing Jesus weep unsettled Andrew. All of the apostles had seen him grieve before, and at times witnessed him become solemn and preoccupied. Yet none had seen him shed tears. Regaining his composure, Andrew asked Jesus what prompted his tears on such a joyful day, and whether an apostle had offended him. As Jesus walked back with Andrew to rejoin the other apostles, he affirmed that none of them had erred. He was sorrowful because his family had not come to offer their support. Ruth was visiting their brother Joseph in Nazareth, explaining her absence. But pride, hurt feelings, disappointment, misunderstanding, and petty resentment prevented the others from supporting their eldest brother in his divine mission. Leaving Galilee. Tidings of Jesus' work had spread widely throughout Galilee and beyond. Capernaum's proximity to Tiberias and Herod's growing interest prompted Jesus to head south to Judea with his apostles. About 100 people sought to accompany them down to Jordan, but Jesus convinced them to remain behind. They obeyed him for a few days before some followed to join them. Jesus and the apostles reached only Tarikia on the first night. The next day, they journeyed to the Jordan River near Pella, establishing camp where John had baptized Jesus nearly a year prior. They lingered there for more than 2 weeks, teaching and proclaiming, as hundreds from Perea, Judea, Syria, Galilee, Phoenicia, and the Decapolis gathered and camped nearby. Jesus entrusted public preaching to the apostles. Andrew organized a schedule and assigned the apostles to teach at various times during the day. After supper, Jesus convened with the 12. He reviewed past lessons instead of teaching them new ones, and recounted some of his experiences during the 40 days he had been up in the hills. All of AD 27 was spent quietly bringing into the kingdom the people who had before been baptized by John. During this first year of public work, 3/4 of Jesus' followers had in the past followed John, and Andrew had to constantly help the other apostles get along with them. They succeeded because they refrained from criticizing John or his teachings, and they had not yet begun baptizing believers. Nevertheless, tension persisted. Many of John's followers struggled to accept that Jesus had not saved him from his cruel fate. God's law and the Father's will. The evening before they departed Pella, Jesus instructed the apostles further on the kingdom of heaven. He said, "You have been taught to watch for the kingdom of God. I have come to proclaim that this long-awaited kingdom is already here among you. Every kingdom needs a king on his throne to decide the laws of the realm. Because of this belief, you assume the kingdom of heaven entails the Jewish people ruling in glory over the whole earth, that your Messiah will sit on David's throne, using miracles to enforce his law on all across the world." Addressing their misconceptions, he continued, "But, my children, you are not seeing with the eye of faith, and you are not hearing with the understanding of the Spirit. Instead, I am telling you that the kingdom of heaven is the acceptance of God's rule in the hearts of all people, that the king in this kingdom is my Father and your Father, and that we are indeed his loyal subjects. But even more important than that fact is the transforming truth that we are God's sons. And it is through the life I am living with you on earth now that this truth is being shown to be real to all. Our Father also sits on a throne, but it is not one made with mortal hands. The throne of the infinite is the eternal dwelling place of the Father in the heaven of heavens. He fills all things and proclaims his laws to countless universes. The Father also rules in the hearts of his children on earth through the Spirit he sent to live in people's minds. As subjects of this kingdom, you are expected to follow the divine law of the universe." He emphasized, "But when by faith you discover that you yourselves are sons of God because of the gospel I am declaring, you will from then on stop looking at yourselves as people obeying the laws of an all-powerful king, and instead as honored children, gladly doing the will of your loving and divine Father. But understand this, if you look at the Father's will as your law, that will not bring you into the kingdom. It is only through the personal experience of the Father's will becoming your will that you will gain entrance into the kingdom of heaven. When God's will is your law, you are noble slave subjects. But when you believe in this gospel of divine sonship, my Father's will becomes your will, and that elevates you to the high position of free children of God, liberated sons of the kingdom. Though some apostles grasped elements of this teaching, only James Zebedee, perhaps, fully comprehended its significance. Yet they all recalled his words later in their ministries. The stay at Amathus. Jesus and the apostles camped near Amathus for almost 3 weeks. The apostles preached twice daily to the crowds, while Jesus preached on Saturday afternoons. The 12 were so occupied that they could no longer take Wednesdays off for rest and recreation. Andrew revised the schedule, assigning 2 apostles a day off each week for 6 days, with all on duty for Jesus' Saturday sermon. John, James, and Peter did most of the public preaching. Simon, Philip, Thomas, and Nathanael did the personal work and held classes for special groups of people. The twins continued to oversee order among all who gathered, while Judas, Andrew, and Matthew served as the management committee, also performing religious work. Andrew was engaged in fostering peace between John's former disciples and Jesus' new followers. Significant challenges emerged daily. Jesus stayed out of these squabbles and also refused to offer solutions to handle them. When Andrew inquired what he should do in these matters, Jesus simply stated that it was unwise for the host to intervene in the family disputes of his guests. A wise parent never takes sides in the petty quarrels of their own children. Jesus consistently displayed wisdom and fairness in guiding his followers. His charm and forceful personality made him a master of people, wielding profound influence. His rugged, nomadic, and homeless life imbued him with a subtle yet commanding presence, while his teachings remained intellectually compelling and spiritually authoritative. Jesus' mind was alert and his logic clear. His insight was wise and his reasoning strong. His bearing was matchless and his tolerance inspiring. Jesus was manly, simple, honest, and fearless. Adding to his physical and intellectual attributes were all of the spiritual charms that have become associated with his personality: humility, patience, meekness, gentleness, and tenderness. Jesus of Nazareth embodied a strong and forceful personality, a spiritual stronghold, and an intellectual luminary. He not only appealed to the spiritually minded women among his followers, but also to the educated men, the rugged, red-blooded Galilean fishermen, and the hardiest of Roman soldiers. Like the captain who is stationed to guard his cross, and when he had finished watching the master die, said, "Truly, this was a son of God." Images portraying Jesus as weak and effeminate have misled young men, and temple merchants would not have fled from the figure depicted in your art. Jesus was not a mild, kind, sweet, and gentle mystic. He was instead natural, dignified, and thrilling when he went about actually doing good. Jesus did not call the lazy or dreamers, but many times he did say, "Come to me, all of you who labor, and I will give you rest and spiritual strength." The master's yoke is indeed easy, but even so, he never imposes it on anyone. Every person must decide to take this yoke based on their own free will. Jesus demonstrated for us conquest by sacrifice, specifically the sacrifice of pride and selfishness. By showing mercy, he taught us the way to spiritual deliverance from all anger, grudges, grievances, and lust for revenge and selfish power. Though Jesus taught us not to resist evil, he later clarified that this did not mean accommodating sin or associating with wrongdoers, but rather forgiving those who caused harm. Teaching about the Father. At Amathus, Jesus elucidated the distinction between the apostles' concepts of God and the new revelation he brought to earth. While the Jews saw God as a king and the father of their nation, Jesus said that God was every person's loving Father. He repeatedly emphasized to the apostles that each person should relate to God as their personal Father. God was not a judge or bookkeeper tallying sins for final judgment over creation. When Thomas asked who this God was, Jesus said, "God is your Father, and religion, my gospel, is nothing more or less than believing the truth that you are his Son, and I am here with you in human form to make both of these ideas clear through my life and teachings." Jesus sought to dissuade the apostles from offering daily animal sacrifices to God as part of their religious duties. But their failure to understand made it a challenging habit to break. Yet Jesus persevered, trying alternative approaches when one method failed. At the same time, Jesus began teaching the apostles how to minister to the sick. First, he taught them to consider the whole person, the union of body, mind, and spirit, to recognize that unique individual. Then Jesus instructed the apostles on 3 types of challenges they would encounter and how to assist individuals with each. These were actual physical sickness, possession by evil spirits, and mental and emotional issues. Throughout this year, the apostles devoted increased attention to ministering to the sick. Jesus explained the origin and nature of evil spirits, which in that day were also known as unclean spirits. Though the apostles could not distinguish insanity from possession by evil spirits, Jesus could. But their lack of knowledge about the earth's early history prevented him from explaining fully. But Jesus did tell the apostles many times that after he had ascended to his Father in heaven, poured out his Spirit on all flesh, and brought forth the kingdom in majestic power and spiritual glory, that evil spirits would no longer bother people. Okay, folks, that was the first part of chapter 20, beginning the public work. Up next is the second and final part, coming soon in the playlist. If this is blessing you, please like and subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs the Master's message right now. And don't forget, Son of Man, Urantia, the life and teachings of Jesus from the Urantia book, is available on Amazon in both English and Spanish. Now go live the message: love, mercy, and forgiveness in action. Godspeed, everyone. Bobby Keyser, out here.